Yo, this is Pupa Curly, and you're in tune to Belizean legends. Yes, sir.
This is Belizean Legends, and I'm Bilal Morris. The legendary Belizean musical artist and performer Pupa Curly comes to Belizean Legends after many years away from the Belizean and Caribbean music scene. His popular track, Crack is a Killer, became a big hit both in the Los Angeles Belizean community in the United States as well as in Belize as a socially conscious song that drew awareness to the deadly scourge of the crack cocaine epidemic in South Central Los Angeles as well as in his hometown Belize. Pupa Curly, whose real name is Curly Arnold, comes back again to continue his musical and cultural social journey as a Belizean artist that had not really left at all. Pupa Curly, my brother, I want to welcome you to Belizean Legends. And as I said, it's like you never did left, right?
That's right. Thanks for having me, my brother.
Yes, man. You know, it's been a long overdue interview in terms of trying to get you when I heard that you came back into the music scene after taking that little short, not a short sabbatical, that was a long sabbatical because everybody wanted to know what happened to Pupa Curly, right? Because as you left, Crack is a Killer still begin to play, right? After that long sabbatical, Curly, from the Belizean music scene, you have decided to come back to the music after being a big contributor to the music, to the Belizean music and culture in the 1980s and 1990s. What made you ball out of the music after being an artist performer after a long time?
Well, the truth is, I, while I did leave the stage as a performer, you must remember that I remained active as a promoter throughout, where I staged and promoted countless Belizean artists and bands, including, of course, but not limited to, and I'll just throw out a few: Lord Raven, Chico Ramos, Super G, Youth Connection, Santino's Messenger, LG, Asiatic, Rasendio, Tito Man Flores. I could go on and on. But just getting back to that is that, like I said, in a sense, I've never left. And like you said, in reality though, my contributions continued kind of uninterrupted from behind the stage, like I just mentioned. Caribbean Seabeats Festival,
yes,
REGGAE Festival. Also, don't forget that I was one of the founding members of the Belize Cultural Association, who brought you the Belize Key Fest. So pretty much, I have stayed my contributions to the music scene, Belizean music, continued nevertheless.
Very, very much. Man, that was a refresher, way to hear you, you reminisce and bring back all those great things that you did in the past. Being one of the original, the pioneers of the Belize Key Fest.
That's right.
Your Sea Breeze Festival in Long Beach at the Queen Mary was a big hit. You have weared so many hats in terms of not only a performer, a musical artist and performer, but you also was a great promoter in terms of being the originator of a lot of things, right? The song Crack is a Killer that made you exploded on the Belize and Caribbean music scene really big, both in Los Angeles and Belize. Talk about that track, Pupa Curly, and how that track made such a big appeal to many in terms of a social commentary.
Well, I'm glad that it was received in such a way. But worth mentioning up front, is I'd like to definitely let people know that it was the genius of Patrick Barrow from Key Records, as well as Lem Van. Bringing in Lem Van and of course Clinton Crawford, that really created the big bang with the music. The lyrics, as far as I go, I just kind of do current events. I call myself a newscaster, a musical newscaster, if you may. Try to bring forth the issues of the day, influencing my writing, pretty much. Sort of like I said, a newscaster. This has remained constant over the years, as far as you familiar with them Say Them Free Mandela?
Yes.
The Big Earthquake.
Yes, all
featuring
these were
Star,
big hits by Pupa Curly. Yes,
and those are all songs that, you know, I try to capture what was happening on those in those particular times. So, you know, but I'm glad that Crack is a Killer was received in such a way, like you said.
Very, very, very much. Very big tune, as they would say. Big, big tune that right there. Many Belizeans, I mean, how did you, after you came out with Crack is a Killer, right? How did you get into the music scene? Before that, these big hits followed afterwards, but we want to know, how did you get into the music scene, right? Being that you was once known as one of Belize's most popular basketball players too at the time, and somehow found music as another part of your life. Talk about that, brother.
Well, you know, there's a correction need to be done up front, because I think I seen some posting online where they mistakenly said I was the starting center for Coca-Cola in 78.
Hey, yeah,
but
that's not pro bill.
But I wasn't. You know, as far as that goes, Marin was the starting center, and I came off the bench to support him.
Yes,
but you know, it was a good team. First and foremost, music is only a part of my life. You know, and I think the basketball thing, like I said, was a little overrated. But you know, for what it's worth, I still love playing basketball, and I enjoyed it at that time. You know. I don't believe I left one for the other per se. On the contrary, like I said earlier, I'm a hyper multitasker who truly believe that one should follow all passions and interests, you know, in opposed to settle for one thing. Because especially in these times in particular, you know, I would encourage the youths, you know, not to ever turn down any opportunity to learn something new, because you never know what you'll use in the future. So, you know, and that kind of like encompass my thoughts on that issue.
Yeah. So like your migration to the United States, leaving the basketball scene in Belize, music was never something that you had thought about, I think.
No,
right? Though you was riding on the shoulders of the legendary Glenda Bella Carib, who was Barbados' best dancer. This is brother Bella Carib. Glenda brother, this right here for viewers who don't know.
Yeah, that's
right.
Sure. That's for
you
sure.
Migrated out, and here you are in Los Angeles, and all of a sudden you became this musical artist.
Well, here it is. I mean, it actually started in a way DJing. You know, a matter of fact, I came out here. My brother-in-law was a great music collector.
Yeah.
He had great music in his house. You know, a stereo system was blasting. You know, so that's where I started. I used to have little parties, so I started playing music and DJing, and from there I picked up the microphone, and you know, people say, oh yeah, okay, that's good, encouragement. Of course, a little after that, I met DJ Morgan, you know, and of course, Morgan had, you know, have a lot to do with influencing the lyrics I do today.
Big up to the man DJ Morgan.
Yeah, big time, definitely. You know, initially, Yellow Man was my guy, you know, the slackness was there.
The man got art.
That's where I started. But, you know, eventually listening to more Bob Marley music and hearing Morgan and hooking up with Morgan, you know, I realized, there's a different avenue here. Let's deal with more reality and consciousness, and I try to deliver the music in such a way that that more people can understand the lyrics. Even though I try to maintain that cultural influence, I want people to hear the lyrics. So Bob Marley was a major influence in that area.
Big time. Glad to hear that, brother.
Definitely.
The legendary Bob Marley, may the peace be upon him, was a man that influenced a musical artist, performer that was global, international icon that had influenced a lot of people in many different ways. Apart from the hit single Crack is a Killer, you also produce and perform many other popular tracks, Pupa Curly, in your career. One of such I can remember that blew me away, that I had loved. I remember, right? And others that also became popular. Can you talk about those tracks and how you came about writing those tracks?
Yeah, well, definitely. Mostly things that I observed, you know, as a kid growing up in Barracks. on George Street. Yes, sir.
It's the project.
That's where I came from. Belizean project. That's where I come from. Yeah. You know. So basically, you know, the things I observed as a youth, I tried to revamp and put out in this particular song called I Rememba. Basically, you know, and that's what it was. Yeah, but it was a fun tune. I really liked the tune. A lot of people was jumping to the tune.
Yes, man.
It's pretty good.
You know, Pupa Curly, in that song you talk about, you brought back the nostalgia of kite raising. You know, you in that song, the way that song still becomes relevant today is because you have lines in there where you talk about the kite pathway and land over the other side, and even over Guatemala. Remember you said, right? Those were some really nice lyrics, right? In terms of making us connect to the home tongue Belize, eh? Yeah,
for real. I remember Miss Moya, the previous mayor of Belize City. You know, she had pointed out, Mr. Moya is my dad. Who was actually in that song.
Oh, so, so, you know, we didn't know that.
No. Used to go to Mr. Moya to buy certain things where Miss Mavis, Miss Mavis they never had. Mavis Fisher was shopkeepers as well. So, you know, it is what it is.
Very much true. This is Belizean Legends and I'm Bilal Morris and we are speaking with the legendary Pupa Curly, the man who brought us Crack is a Killer. Better known as his real name is Curly Honor. And many of you Belizeans remember Curly Honor, who was not only a Belizean musical artist and performer, but he was also one of Belize's good and great basketball players in the junior section of Belize. But that's for another time, Curly, and your basketball career. Because those who are looking at this may want to say, what, Pupa Curly, you have to talk about their deal with Coke and stuff, right?
Undefeated champions.
Undefeated champions, right?
A good year, you know?
Yeah.
But worth mentioning though, because a lot of people don't know that I was one of the only member of that team that was not SJC student.
I mean, SJC student.
Yeah, I was.
Check it out.
I was from Nazarene High School.
Yeah. So. But currently, we want to talk about, just take a little small glimpse into your basketball career in Belize. And, you know, you got a lot of people who were kind of messing up the stats and talking about you're playing for this team and that team. Set the record straight if you can, my boy, because many people said that you were with Coke or whatever.
Yeah,
talk about it. You was with Coca-Cola,
yeah, Coca-Cola,
right?
Junior Champs, 1978.
Yeah.
That was
the team that you...
That was it.
Yeah, but you were not necessarily a SJC player.
No, right? I wasn't. No, I never went to the SJC at all. I was Nazarene High School, just up the way.
So you came under the coaching of Eric Neal.
Of the great Eric Neal.
Talk about I call him a legend in his own right. Talk about the legendary Eric Neal.
Matter of fact, it was only 1 year that I worked with him. Of course, you know, due respect, you know, every time. I mean, it was my very first time in featured in an organized team where I'm getting coached. You know, from then it was just, you know, shooting ball in the backyard over there in George Street, you know, between my yard and Nelda Soberanis them. Soberanis here. So they used to have a hoop back there and we used to play ball back there like that. But a lot of time spent on the cement, you know, St. Ignatius, SJC gym, you know, a lot of beating up the knees and the joints.
Yes,
you know, but it's what we love to do.
Ball got played anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah. You know, Pupa Curly, a lot of people talk about, well, why are we talking about this south side and north side thing? Because during your time when you were playing ball, that there was no such thing as a north side and a south side, and that this south side thing is just sort of ghettoizing the whole Belize City thing. Talk about that. When you were coming up, was there a north side and a south side?
There were. You know, I always knew there was a north and south, but in terms of the way it's looked at today, or the division, I guess, that seemed to be driven there. Yeah, I do believe there was always a north and south side. I mean, you know, south side is what we have today, basically. You know, the Barracks side of town, and the north side was always looked at as
South of Big Bridge.
right, sort of big bridge. And the north side was always looked
Not
at
a
as
big bridge.
not a big bridge. Or
Yeah, that was
even
the
a little bit
dividing
more,
line.
yeah, it was a little bit more to it than that still, you know. You still know that there was maybe a little bit better neighborhoods or whatever you might want to say.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to Belize for a couple of years. I just keep following the news a little bit, but you know, I do know that the news can give you more grief than anything else. You know, because I'm sure there's really great parts of Belize that have not been mentioned.
But I say that and I put the question to you. We want to talk in the form of a discussion because I know a lot of your music had reminiscent right out of that very Belize City Southside situation.
Sure.
You're a man from the Southside of Belize City. And when you listen to Pupa Curly's music, he speaks a lot about the Southside Belize City, quote, and I put that in quotes, about the life that we live, the kite raising, the joy of what it used to be then. That nostalgia. If you listen to Pupa Curly music, you hear a lot of Belize City nostalgia in terms of what we call the Southside. Very much so. Your performances, Pupa Curly, as a Belizean reggae artist, and one of the first Belizean reggae artists for that matter since the 1980s at the popular Belize Key Fest in Los Angeles, brings back memories as your brand as an artist comes to mind, because what? You became one of the first Belizean reggae artists, if you really look at it, Pupa Curly. You were one before LJ, before a lot of others.
But don't forget that Babylon Warriors and all them were there.
Babylon Warriors before you, but I'm saying solo. Babylon Warriors
a
solo Belizean reggae artist.
Yeah, even before Belize reggae artists were producing videos for their single to promote it, you know, I was living a life ahead of the game, basically. You know, I was a little ahead of myself, to be quite honest.
Very much.
Yeah, You Must Wake Up. If you look at that, it's shot on location downtown.
Not a big tune, you know. You Must Wake Up.
And a matter of fact, I'll give a salute to Bella Karim, who choreographed the dance for that, and Lerna Smith, who was involved as a dancer in that video. A lot of people don't know. Go back and check it out.
Yeah, two incredible Belizean dancers, homegrown Belizean dancers in the Los Angeles Belizean community. But Curly, as you talk about the song You Must Wake Up, the song You Must Wake Up became a part of the Belize Caribbean Pulse radio show. That was their signature tune. You remember that?
You Must Wake Up.
You Must Wake Up.
That's right.
You Must Wake Up. When Nur Muhammad was hosting in the 1990s.
I remember, definitely.
The song that Pupa Curly brought out, You Must Wake Up, became our signature tune, because myself being a producer of that show, I remember we chose that song after we used Brother David's song, Pupa Curly's song, You Must Wake Up. Right, you're bringing a whole lot of nostalgia here about your period of time when you were big. We
don't remember as we move forward.
Yeah, very much. The things, they keep coming back, you know. And your songs, I remember on Belize Caribbean Pulse, played out so much. We had enjoyed using your songs to tell social messages and so on about the community. You are back, Pupa Curly. You are back now.
Never left.
After how long?
Never left. Remember that.
How long you have been
it's
back?
definitely a couple of decades, man. I'm scared to say the number.
You've been back.
Yeah.
You've been away for a while. You're back with new music.
Definitely.
New music for the times that have been getting already a lot of attention now, Pupa Curly, in your time. When Crack is a Killer, You Must Wake Up. Remember, there was no social media, right?
No,
there was no social media.
Not at all.
I don't think we even had the advancement of cell phones as we have now, right?
There wasn't even CD when I stopped recording.
There wasn't even CDs.
When I stopped
very
recording.
much so. We all remember all these cassettes, right?
Records and cassettes.
Yeah.
That's what it was for me. You know?
Very much so. The tracks appear to be very political. Your tracks, your songs were very political and very social commentaries style. And in terms of Belize and the US, what are you trying to say this time in your music this time, in the rebirth of Pupa Curly?
Well, in terms of what I'm doing, it's a continuation of what I've been doing from day one, really. You know, I deal with the issues of the day. And right now, you know, the first couple of tracks, without saying, I mean, the first one, Them a Watch Me. You know, it's basically addressing the big brother over policing search and frisk, abusive mentality, you know, of the system as a whole. But really and truly, you know, you would see the police in this particular song, or hear the police a lot in the song, because they are the ones that's up front protecting and serving the system, not the population, and that's how I see it. But then the next tune again, Everywhere is War. Just look at the news today. I mean, I don't have to go too much
into it. It's a war zone out there,
but it is. You know, my essential plea though in this song is you know, for the leaders to find another way. You know, please find another solution, which is a lyrics in the song, instead of war. You know, and as we speak today, we can look at the G whatever, 5G, 10G, whoever. You know, they are basically at this point, you know, with the, you know, with their strategic power moves and the rhetoric, it's right there, you know. So, you know, the song is very, very relevant. I'm not gonna lie to you. Anytime you sing about war, it will be relevant, and I try to capture the many issues. As a matter of fact, I had to take out about 20 bars out of this song because, you know, I guess I was a little bit, I wouldn't say overdoing it, but maybe it was a little bit too strong for the airwaves, you know, in some of the lyrics I was trying to do. And I certainly don't mind telling you a little bit of that right now.
Yes, brother, run it, Curly.
You know, basically the lyrics that came out of this song that's not in there right now, but the song is very, very strong the way it is currently. You know, I basically say that the politicians in their fancy chair enacting laws like they just don't care, pushing the poor over the cliff of despair. Why they tell you to hold on? Guess what? God will answer your prayer. Wake up, people, you better beware. Looks like a clash between the eagle and bear. The dragon poses a threat. It's all over the air. CNN, you understand me? You know? War, north, south, east and west. All over the world, it's like a war contest. You should have used your war for the best. Things like fight a war for a better climate. Fight a war for social justice. Fight a war against world hunger. It would cost you less than a fleet of bomber. Fight a war against police brutality. You understand? Why should we do that? Because them a kill off whole heap of a wee picnic. Red, brown, black man and woman. From Freddie Gray down to Sandra Bland. Wall Street get away, we get execution, and that's what I have to say. But that's part of the lyrics of the new tune will come out. So you know I hear that again unless you check out the Belizean Legend show.
Beautiful, man, and there we have it. From the one and only, the legend himself, Pupa Curly, laid it down about his new material that we'll be hearing. Belizeans, I hope you tune into this and go and find these songs. And we have social media now where Pupa Curly has these new tracks that are up there that they are blazing. My brother, you know, I want to ask you on the final analysis, what is it, what message would you like to share with our Belizean Legends audience as one of Belize's most positive performing artists of the 1980s and 1990s, and you're coming back into the scene again to deliver more? What message do you have?
My message is pretty simple, and it's just a quote from James Baldwin. People who shut their eyes to reality simply invite their own destruction. And that's my message. Bless up.
And there we have it. This is Belizean Legends, and I am Bilal Morris, and we have been speaking with the one and only Pupa Curly right here in the Belizean Legends studios. And we want to thank the legendary Pupa Curly, my brother. I want to thank you for coming in. Enough respect. Enough respect.
Around the world, I said the time is now. Now the microphone again just to show you how to stimulate a body harder with the monster jam.